Hi, my name is Rochelle Franklin. I'm going to be performing an IV fluid and medication administration. First, we're going to start off with performing hand hygiene and donning our gloves. All right, so you want to sing happy birthday twice, or at least get 20 seconds worth of hand washing, getting underneath the nails and everything like that. And then we'll go ahead and get our gloves. So I have my supplies out already, and I'm going to go over exactly what we'll be using to make it a little bit easier, okay? So this is our primary tubing. We see right here that this is the drop factor. It's 15, so that makes it a macro drip tubing. It's also a primary tubing, and it has all my components, which I'll go over when I open it up. So we'll start with the spike. This is the spiked end. It's sterile, so you don't want to touch it without the cap on. This is the drip chamber. This is the tubing. This is the roller clamp. And then we'll go even more. This is the Y tubing, also needleless, so you just use the lock method. And then this is the port or adapter that connects to the catheter that goes in the patient. All right, so and this is also a sterile end, so we don't want to touch that as well. So now that we have our primary tubing as a little familiar to us, we have our orders, and our orders are going to be of 150 milliliters an hour, and I will show you how we are going to do that with a 250 milliliter bag of sodium chloride. Okay, so you always want to double check your orders against what you have, and then also, of course, your 6 rights, asking the patient their allergies, looking at right dose, right medication, right route, right time, right documentation, indication, and that will be that. So you also want to look and make sure that your bag is still in its original bag. It's still clear, not cloudy for any reason, and it's not expired, of course. So I'll go ahead and pop this open. So how you do, before I go ahead and spike the bag, how you do a calculation on this. So you're going to take the total volume over the number of hours that you have is going to give you the flow rate. And then after that, you're going to have the drip factor, which we know is 15. So we'll take the drip factor over how many minutes, which is 60 minutes in 1 hour, and then you times that by the flow rate. And then with this particular one, you end up with 37.5, which you cannot do a half a drop, so you have to go ahead and round up or round down. I prefer to round down so that you're not giving fluid excess. Okay. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and spike the bag. So, this is the port for medication, and then this is where you're going to spike the bag. And everything is sterile, so you don't want to cause any issues. Okay, so I uncapped my spike here, and you just twist it on in, and it'll drop out, and you want to make sure your clamp is done. And you're going to fill this at least like 3/4 full. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take this and you put it over like a sink or somewhere where, you know, water can go. And you're opening it and you're going to make sure that you have no bubbles within your tubing, okay? So with that being said, since this is our primary tubing, we're going to go ahead and hang this. And we want to hang it at least 30 inches above an adult patient's head, or the IV pole, more like it doesn't need to be the head, but the IV pole. And then after that, we're going to work on our secondary order, which is going to be our piggyback with meds attached. So once again, you want to do your 6 rights, making sure that you have right patient, right time, right dose, right route, right indication, right documentation, making sure that this isn't expired, and it's not cloudy, it's also in another bag. Same rules apply. But you're going to go ahead and use this port, oh, you can't see that, this port to put in your medication, okay? And then you have your secondary line of tubing. So this one is also a drop factor of 15. And so the difference between a piggyback and a primary tubing is that you're going to use the hook for the primary tubing, and you're going to put this lower and the piggyback higher than the primary tubing. So our order reads 250 milligrams in 100 mLs of normal saline, which is what I have here, over 15 minutes. So like I said again, 6 rights, allergies, and then we're going to go ahead and connect the tubing, okay? So it all comes together. So that is open. Okay, and then we have this as well that we gotta open. And then we also have this is a handy dandy little medication added, which will fill out, of course, and you know, it has which drug, the amount, what I added, the base solution, patient's name, expiration date, all that good stuff on there. So here is your hanger that you can put your primary tubing on. So same rules apply, you know, roller clamp on, sterile end, going into sterile end, you just push in and twist, okay, and then you'll let that flow. You don't want any bubbles, of course, and you'll do it over, you know, a sink or something that you can put on. Okay, so I'm just hooking my primary tubing up to my extender. So it's going to look like that, and then we're going to so your extender, let's see, it's up here. My primary tubing is being extended, and then you're going to take that Y tubing and of course taking an alcohol swab and wiping it off, and taking that sterile end of the secondary tubing and connecting it to the port, okay? It's a push and twist method, and then this will hang higher than your primary tubing. And you'll open the flow rate, and that should, and unclamp it, you know, roller clamp, and that should be it. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.